I've just watched your show, and I've seen so many clips, and I'm finally got to see it myself, which is amazing.
Thank you.
What a fucking performance.
My lashes are still intact, but
I think they're good.
Been on a journey.
I think that, yeah, well, they're still on. The journey is still on your face.
Yeah.
So first question, you have a pretty wild show. You seem very free. I see you as like a feral child, like a maybe like an 11-year-old whose parents were just not around, right? To like instill a sense of discipline around you. How do you prepare for your shows?
I don't know. I'm always terrible, like so nervous, and I can't really think about anything else. And I just feel a general malaise all day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of artists will relate to that. It's in the background even if you're not thinking about it. And I always like think, oh, can I do it? So I guess my preparation is telling myself, you can do it.
You can do it. Yeah, you said you were nervous, and your performance doesn't show any nerves whatsoever.
No, because I'm protected by my character, I think.
By your character?
Yes.
So what's the difference between you and your character?
I don't know, it's just a part of myself, I suppose. But I think because when I first started performing, I was so nervous and really it blocked me. And so I guess I was very lucky because when I started performing musically, I was able to do a lot of shows like quite quickly through Joe, who is my partner, and he makes music, and he also puts on a lot of events.
Yeah.
And we started making music together. Like when I met him, I'd been like tinkering around on like YouTube type beats.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a world I can occupy, and here's someone actually doing it. So I was able to have a lot of chance to practice, but
you were thrown in?
I was thrown into it.
Yeah.
Because he was like, perform, and I was like, what the fuck? So I guess I subconsciously reverted to drama that I did as a kid.
Yeah.
Where I would play these like very loud male characters when I was like 11.
Right.
Like the butcher, I'd be like the butcher, and strange surreal worlds, which I'm very glad I did, and shout out my parents who definitely were around and very nurturing of my creativity. But then I think I stopped doing that when I was a teenager, and self-consciousness took hold. I came to music like in my early 20s. I knew it was something I loved, but I had to find a way to protect myself and get out of that self-consciousness that had built up over 10 years.
Protecting yourself by letting go and be vulnerable in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, my next question was, are you the same in your day-to-day? But you kind of answered that, really.
Yeah, not at all. I think songwriting, I think performing, it's like it brings out parts of you. I think that's why it's so healing in a way. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people find it healing is because it taps into parts of your subconscious. Yeah. And often, like, definitely me when I'm writing, like, the song just comes out and it's a very cathartic experience. So we're talking about my stage character. It is me, it's part of me, but it's also a different part of me, and I think that's it's magic for me. Yeah. I couldn't be myself on stage.
I think that's probably with every performer, right?
It's absolutely mortifying doing gigs and you don't know where you're going to end up. Especially when you're starting music, you're not going to be performing to an adoring crowd. No. People are not going to know who you are. Yeah. They're not going to care sometimes.
Well, this is the UK. People can be very...
Yeah, and sometimes also they are going to be enjoying it, but they're very still. And so you are like, oh my God. In your head, you're like, oh my God.
They hate me.
They hate me.
Yeah, I've been there.
Or they think I'm ridiculous. And so you have to find a way to put that little voice in this little box at the back, and then just be, and also because you then, if you're fully in it and in the world, you let them in. Because people come to a gig, they've been at work, they've been out, or they want to chat with their friends. Yeah. They are self-conscious themselves. Yeah. And so they want to be enticed in and enjoy an experience and not think about their little voice in their head.
Yeah. And once you start letting go, the reward just comes straight back, and they're like, oh, worrying about looking cool or whatever, like, has the opposite effect. But like, once you let go,
Yeah,
crowds can give you so much to encourage you to like further let go.
Yes.
I told you the horses were coming, and they're very, very close now. Pick one, jump on, and ride. I choose the bone, Venice coastal, better than home. Wild horse, I know, she owns the road.
Maybe a dumb question. Who are your favourite rappers?
Oh no, not a dumb question. I love talking about music. Boldy James, Mac for me. I think like all of like Griselda as a label. I really love what they do. Obviously like West Side Gun. This guy Joe I mentioned before, he's always tapped in with the internet and like what's going on. This
The guy that makes your beats.
yeah, he makes my beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also is a rapper and just
So what's
very
his
tapped
Joe
artist
Jazz.
name?
Joe Jazz.
Check him out.
Cool. And what's his Instagram?
Hairy Muffin Man.
Okay.
We both have
well, the two
silly
of you
names.
are.
Yeah, Pac Slim. He was a guy. I think he's from like living in Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah, best off.
Cool. Thank you. How does it happen when a beat comes together, a song comes together?
I just hear the beat,
Starts with that.
and then yeah, if I like the beat, then the words come out. I love like electronic production as well as hip hop, and then I've worked with producers who are more like boom bap producers,
Yeah.
like, and then like trap or like those sounds
Yeah.
which kind of meld it all. Because I also like stuff like, you know, like Black Cray and like Wi-Fi God and like the kind of Drain Gang. Like I feel like the internet just like blew up all the sounds, so everything's just like mashed, and then just stuff like drum and bass, jungle, like so I just want to work with like anyone who makes anything sick, basically.
Yeah. I found like your earlier stuff, like you've evolved. Would you say you've evolved your vocal style since you started?
Yeah,
In what way?
I think I just got more confident.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I like that first like EP is actually like in my first few months of making music. I just put it out like within about 6 months.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was getting used to being in a studio. I was like in sessions with people who, sometimes with Joe, but a lot of the time like his friends who I'd maybe only met a couple times and were much more experienced than me, which was great because it pushed me. But like all the times recording, I'd be fucking nervous and I wouldn't really know what I was doing. And just doing it more, you just get more adept. It's any kind of skill, and then you're just like, oh, actually, I can do something like this with my voice, this with my voice. I think it's also just listening to music and absorbing stuff. I try not to overthink things.
Yeah.
Even like having sessions with people like Freddie. I remember having a session with Freddie like time ago, like
Freddie Forbidden.
Yeah. And hearing some way he just delivered a verse, and I was like, shit, I've never thought to rap like that.
Yeah. He breaks a lot of
crazy.
rules.
Yeah. As an artist, when you listen to an artist, you're like, you have a new perspective on what they're doing. Because you're like, oh shit, maybe I can approach it like this and this. So it makes you love music more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done? I mean, I want to hear. I mean, I've delved into your stuff on Spotify, but I'd love to hear you do like a straight up punk rock song with guitars and drums, like live band thing. Have you ever done anything like that?
No. I think it's like I've got a complicated relationship with that because I think you kind of come up against like a lot of preconceived notions of what's expected of you.
Yeah.
And obviously, as like a white person making hip hop, you
Yeah.
have to have a lot of self-awareness as well.
Yeah.
There's like, but the thing is, I'm trying to make hip hop because that's what's informing my music.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people will say like, why don't you just be in a band? Because I feel like that's what's
Yeah.
expected of when someone looks at me. In not even the sound.
Yeah, the reason I ask is there's a punk rock element to your style.
There is, but I find it funny because it's like I love all kinds of music, but it's like I think this is a subconscious thing. But I think I've actually maybe picked up that stuff over time through hip hop artists.
Yeah.
Like through watching hip hop artists, or like someone like Keith Flint and the Prodigy.
Yeah.
Or like Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
Or like just so many artists.
Yeah.
Even someone like Pusha T.
Yeah.
Death Grips.
Yeah.
And they're making hip hop more industrial stuff.
Yeah.
They're just like, I feel like hip hop is punk, like as well.
Yeah. I still want to hear you with loud ass guitars and just
I'm
one
not
song.
Against it. I'm not against it.
I'm not saying join a band.
Yeah, but I'm not against it. But I think the band is a contentious thing for me as well. Because also as a woman, I always feel like people will say to me like, why don't you have a band? Why don't you have more people on stage? And like, I'm kind of like, well, I don't know, because that's not the act.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'd like to make you a beat anyway with guitars.
Maybe a beat. No, I'm down.
Amazing. Why are your songs so short?
Because that was where the thought ended. I think, and a lot of them are made in a studio session. Yeah, when the idea runs out, I won't really come back to songs very much. So it's just like I'll write it in the moment. I'll write it quite quickly. Yeah. And then it's done.
It's not overindulgent, which is good.
No, I guess I'm not against a long song. Like all of this, I'm still. I'll probably like change it up as time goes on.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Last question: what do you think your purpose is in music, or in this world even?
My purpose in this world. I mean, in music, I just started doing it because I loved it, and it made me feel good. And it made the bad thoughts go away. But
made the bad thoughts go.
The bad thoughts go away, putting it loosely. I think pursuing it as a career, and people always say, okay. I do think there is an obligation that people have. I guess just everyone, just to try and improve the world in some small way. I wouldn't say I have like grandiose visions of myself changing the world, but I do think that if I'm able to, I think that storytelling and films and music is a very, very good way to share ideas. And like, I know I've learned a lot about the world through hearing artists and then, okay, where did they come from? What's the world that they're occupying? Because they're often just talking about their lives, but like, and you might say, my song about my life, who cares about that? I'm not saying something overtly political, but actually it is. And I think learning about how other people are and how they see the world is like one of the most important things you can do as a human being. It means that you have to be empathetic. And that's what I think once you get the like perspective of other people, it really opens you up, and it's a painful process, and sometimes you realize shit about yourself and you're like, damn, I need to grow. But that's what I'm trying to do as a person, and I'm just trying to make art forever, so I guess that's what I'm trying to do as an artist.
Fantastic. Retropxssy, thank you so much. Amazing show tonight, and thanks for spending time with it.
Thank you very much.